Perhaps you've heard Denver Public Schools needs to come up with about $17 million to cover the cost of migrant children enrolled this year. What the breathless headlines and some of the anger being pushed by anti-migrant groups does not mention is that $17 million is about 1% of the district's budget, not even something that they need to dip into reserves to cover. It appears the larger impact is in school staff stretched thin. Here's Evan Krugel with that.
As thousands of migrants continue to arrive in Colorado, the impact to Denver Public Schools is unlike anything they've ever seen.
We are averaging currently about 200 new students each week.
Scott Pribble says just over 3,000 new students have enrolled since the start of the year, when the state dishes out money based on enrollment.
And because of that, we are missing out on some money that we would have received from the state had we received these students arrived before then. And that's about $17.5 million that we have been missing out on.
And while that sounds like a huge number, it accounts for just over 1% of the district's budget. Pribble says they aren't pulling from reserves just yet.
$17.5 million is a lot of money. Let's not joke about that. But in the big picture of the overall budget, it's actually a small percentage.
Pribble says they've made up some of this money through the state's new free meal program and through unexpected enrollment numbers.
We were fortunate in that our numbers of students who were new to our school district actually were higher than we expected before the October count, and so the amount of money that we received was higher than expected.
Everybody repeat, oído.
But inside the classroom, teachers say they're growing concerned about the impact.
Oh, we're extremely concerned. We've seen class sizes across the district go up.
Rob Gould says Denver teachers are doing more than ever, with some class sizes now above 30.
You go and talk to the educators. They love supporting the students, but at the end of the day, they're exhausted. And it's really just a challenge for everybody. And so I think the $17 million, yes, it's not as much when you're looking at $1 billion budget, but those are real dollars. It really makes a difference for kids in the classroom.
Now, DPS says it still doesn't know how many of those 3,000 students will actually stay here in Denver, and they may not know that number until next year's student count, which happens in October. But if this surge continues, those teachers we talked with say the district simply needs to figure out a way to make sure class sizes are more manageable next year.
Yeah, because of course these students are not spread out equally amongst all the schools in the district, nor would they want them to be, because they want them to be where the specific services for them are.
Right.
What are other districts seeing?
Yeah, definitely not a problem that Denver is alone with. Aurora tells us they've had just under 2,000 new students from out of country so far this year. So Denver certainly not alone in this fight, but a lot of work to be done across the state on this issue.
All right, Evan, thank you very much.
Yep, you bet.